When the Zorthian Empire declared war on Earth, they expected a quick victory. For thousands of years, the Zorthians had ruled the stars. Their fleets had crushed hundreds of civilizations, their weapons melted moons, and their soldiers obeyed without question. To them, humanity was just another primitive species, one more name on a long list of conquered worlds. They did not understand what kind of species humans were. It began with a single message sent across the void, cold, official, and arrogant. Humanity, surrender your planet and your resources. The Zorthian Empire now claims ownership of your world. On Earth, the message played across every screen. People laughed at first, thinking it was a prank. Then the ships appeared. Giant vessels, black as night, blocking out the sun over the Pacific Ocean. The world went silent. The Zorthians expected panic. They expected humans to kneel. Instead, something else happened. In a command center deep under Colorado, General Hayes watched the alien fleet on a massive screen. Around him, scientists and military officers argued. Their ships are too advanced, one said. We can't win this, said another. But Hayes stayed quiet. His eyes were fixed on the alien formation. He wasn't afraid. He was calculating. Get me the Global Defense Network, he ordered finally. And wake Project Phoenix. No one spoke for a few seconds. Project Phoenix was classified above top secret, a last resort that even the world leaders had sworn never to use. But now, humanity was out of options. In orbit, the Zorthian commander, High Marshal Vector, looked down at Earth through his ship's glass wall. Such a small planet, he said with contempt. End it quickly. The order was given. Energy lances began to charge, bright lines of blue fire forming across the alien fleet. But before the first shot was fired, the humans responded. Thousands of lights appeared across Earth's surface, not from cities, but from silos. Rockets screamed into the sky. The aliens scanned them and laughed. Primitive missiles, one of them said. They won't even touch our shields. They were wrong. When the first missile hit, it didn't explode. It vanished in a burst of light, replaced by something else, a strange energy wave that tore through the Zorthian shield grid. The next missile did the same. Then, another. Within seconds, half the fleet's defensive field was gone. Vector's eyes widened. What is this weapon? Back on Earth, scientists were shouting and cheering. Project Phoenix wasn't just a missile system. It was humanity's most dangerous experiment, technology based on a mysterious artifact found on Mars decades ago. No one fully understood how it worked, but it could twist energy itself, rewrite the laws of physics for a short time. Now, it was rewriting the war. The Zorthians tried to adapt. Their ships shifted formation, firing plasma beams into the clouds. Cities shook under the thunder of alien weapons. But humans didn't stop. Drones, stealth bombers, orbital cannons, everything humanity had built over a century of fear and preparation, came alive. In the middle of chaos, a lone astronaut aboard the orbital station Aegis 4 sent a simple message to all human channels. We don't bow to empires. We build our own. That line spread faster than the war itself. Soldiers painted it on their armor. Pilots carved it into their ships. Across the world, people who had never spoken before worked together. Chinese engineers sent codes to American satellites. Indian physicists shared defense algorithms with Russian commanders. For the first time in history, humanity acted as one species. Vector could not believe what he was seeing. The humans were not retreating. They were fighting harder with every loss. Every city destroyed only made their resistance stronger. His second-in-command, a creature with silver scales, whispered, "High Marshal, they are adapting too fast." "Impossible," Vector hissed. "No primitive world can." He stopped as the largest human warship rose from the atmosphere. It was not built by any nation, but by all of them together. Its name shone on its hull, HSS Unity. It was enormous, armored with asteroid metal and powered by a reactor no alien had ever seen before. It moved like a living thing, guided by a hybrid human-AI system that learned from every second of battle. The Unity fired once. Just once. A beam of white light crossed space and hit the Zorthian flagship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien ship's armor cracked, folded, and imploded into itself. The High Marshal's command bridge exploded in silence. Down on Earth, people watching the sky saw the alien fleet burning. Cheers rose in every language. But General Hayes didn't cheer. He stood in silence, eyes fixed on the radar. "This isn't over," he murmured. "That was just their first wave." He was right. Far beyond the solar system, in the Zorthian homeworld, a massive council watched the battle recordings. Their leader, the Emperor himself, leaned forward on his throne. His expression was unreadable. "Prepare the second armada," he said coldly. "And bring me everything we know about this humanity." The wreckage of the Zorthian fleet still floated in Earth's orbit. Broken ships glimmered like dying stars, silent reminders of the impossible. Humans had won the first battle. On Earth, celebrations erupted across every city. People danced in the streets, shouting the words that had become their symbol: "We don't bow to empires." For the first time, the world was united, not by fear, but by pride. But deep underground, in the command bunker of the Global Defense Network, the mood was very different. General Hayes stood before a large holographic display showing the solar system. He didn't smile. "That wasn't a victory," he said quietly. "It was a warning shot, from both sides." Beside him, Dr. Aisha Rao, the lead scientist of Project Phoenix, nodded grimly. "Our reactors are unstable," she said. "We used energy we don't fully understand. If we push it again, we might destroy ourselves." Hayes looked at her. "Then we'd better understand it, fast. Because they're coming back." And they were. Far beyond the edge of the Milky Way, the Zorthian Empire gathered its second armada. Thousands of ships, each larger than mountains, assembled under the red skies of their homeworld. The Emperor himself stood inside the Hall of Conquest, staring at a massive hologram of Earth. Around him, alien generals bowed. One of them spoke in a trembling voice. "Your Majesty, we underestimated them. Their technology advanced faster than expected. Their resistance defies logic." The Emperor's eyes, glowing like molten silver, turned toward the general. "Logic is a cage," he said. "Break it. Send everything. I want that planet burned to ashes." Across the galaxy, space itself seemed to tremble as the Zorthian warships activated their hyperdrives. Back on Earth, strange signals began appearing in deep space sensors: distortions, energy spikes, gravitational waves. Humanity knew what it meant. The Empire was coming. The Unity, still in orbit, was being repaired. Thousands of engineers worked without sleep. Robots welded new armor, scientists recalibrated the main reactor, and AI systems ran countless simulations of possible invasion patterns. Captain Elena Cross, commander of the Unity, stood on the observation deck, staring at the stars. She whispered softly, "They're coming for us again, aren't they?" Her AI companion, a calm synthetic voice named Orion, responded, "Probability of hostile return, 99.8%. Estimated arrival, 72 hours. She smiled faintly. "Then we don't have much time to make history again." In those 72 hours, humanity changed more than it had in centuries. Every scientist, every engineer, every coder worked together. Nations dropped their flags and formed one banner: the Human Coalition. Their motto: survive, adapt, overcome. Project Phoenix expanded. The mysterious energy from the Martian artifact, now called Ion energy, was being studied day and night. Some feared it was alive, others believed it was a gift from the universe itself. Dr. Rao made a discovery that changed everything. "The artifact reacts to emotion," she explained to Hayes. "It amplifies human intent, our will to fight, our hope, our unity. It's not just energy, it's connected to us. Hayes stared at her. Then let's give it something to believe in. Hours later, the second Zorthian armada arrived. The sky turned red as thousands of alien ships entered orbit. Their arrival created waves in the atmosphere, storms forming across the oceans. People around the world looked up in terror as the night sky filled with light and death. The Unity rose to meet them. Captain Cross gave a calm order. All weapons hot. Shield to full. And someone play that song, the one from the first battle. A slow, defiant melody filled the bridge. Humanity was not hiding this time. The first alien salvo came, plasma beams and energy storms lighting up the void. The Unity absorbed the impact, its new armor glowing bright white. Then it fired back. From Earth, people watched the sky as streaks of light tore through the heavens. Each explosion looked like a falling star. Every time one vanished, someone on Earth whispered a prayer. Down below, General Hayes coordinated global defense. Activate orbital cannons. Target their carriers. And tell the colonies on Luna and Mars, it's their time. For the first time, human outposts beyond Earth joined the fight. The Moon's defense towers launched kinetic projectiles the size of buildings. Mars unleashed railguns hidden beneath its surface. Humanity was no longer a single world, it was a network of fighters spread across space. But the Zorthians were relentless. They adapted, just like humans. Their second wave split the sky open. Dozens of human ships were destroyed. The Unity's hull began to crack. On the bridge, alarms screamed. Captain Cross held onto her console, smoke filling the air. Orion, status. Reactor at 62%. Hull integrity critical. We cannot survive another barrage. Cross closed her eyes. Then we finish this before they do. She opened a private channel to Dr. Rao. Aisha, can we overcharge the Phoenix core? The scientist's voice shook. Elena, if you do that, it could destroy the ship, maybe the whole orbit. Better that than the whole planet, Cross said. Down on Earth, General Hayes watched as a blinding light began to grow from the Unity. She's doing it, he whispered. The Phoenix core ignited. A sphere of white energy expanded outward, swallowing alien fire and twisting space itself. The Zorthian fleet tried to retreat, but it was too late. The energy wave hit them like a living storm. One by one, their ships disintegrated, not exploded, but erased. When the light faded, silence returned to space. The Unity was gone. The alien fleet was gone. Only a faint echo of radio signals remained, Captain Cross's final transmission. Tell them. We stood together. General Hayes bowed his head. Around him, no one spoke. Humanity had survived, but at a terrible cost. And far away, deep in Zorthian space, the Emperor watched the destruction in silence. Then he smiled, a cold, calculating smile. Interesting, he said. So, the humans can destroy fleets. Let us see if they can destroy gods. The calm after the storm did not last. From deep in the Zorthian Empire, the Emperor's orders had already set a new plan into motion. The humans had destroyed their fleet, but the Zorthians did not see it as defeat. No, they saw it as a lesson, and a challenge that demanded a terrifying response. In orbit above their homeworld, massive ships larger than cities were constructed. But these were not ordinary warships. The Emperor had called forth something older than the Empire itself, a living machine known as the Vorith, a predator designed to consume whole stars for energy. Its body was black and shifting, like shadows folded into metal. Its eyes glowed with fire that could pierce the void. And it obeyed only the Emperor. When the Vorith launched, entire solar systems trembled. Planets trembled in their orbits, and nearby stars flickered under the machine's hunger. Back on Earth, humanity was still recovering. Cities rebuilt, satellites repaired, and survivors mourned the loss of the Unity. Captain Cross's sacrifice had become a legend overnight. But the Martian artifact, the source of Project Phoenix's power, pulsed faintly in the hands of Dr. Aisha Rao. It had saved them once, but now it felt uneasy. Dr. Rao examined it in the lab. "It's reacting again," she said. "Something is coming. Something bigger than anything we fought before." On the first morning after the second battle, the sky changed. Scientists monitoring space noticed an anomaly, a dark mass moving between stars, faster than any known ship. The readings were off the charts. Gravity waves, energy fluctuations, magnetic storms. It was no longer just an armada. It was a weapon of destruction, unlike anything humans had imagined. General Hayes called a meeting. Leaders, scientists, and military strategists filled the bunker. "We are looking at a single object capable of destroying our sun," he said bluntly. "It doesn't care about fleets. It doesn't care about cities. It doesn't even care about planets. It consumes everything." There was silence. Dr. Rao stepped forward. "We might have one chance. The artifact, it's connected to humans. It's alive in a way. It can interact with our thoughts, our emotions, maybe even control energy on a massive scale. But we've never tested it on something like this." A young pilot, Lieutenant Marcus Chen, asked, "You mean, we can fight it with the artifact?" Rao nodded. "We don't have a choice." Far away, the Vorath neared the solar system. Its enormous shadow darkened Jupiter. The gas giant trembled under its gravitational pull, storms raging across its surface. Moons cracked under its presence. Humanity had never seen fear like this. In orbit, Earth's remaining fleet prepared for battle. Satellites armed with Project Phoenix technology linked together. Rockets, orbital cannons, and drones were ready. But even their combined power was nothing against a creature that could consume a star. General Hayes stared at the display. "We don't have a strategy. We have hope." Dr. Rao held the artifact in her hands, feeling its hum. "It responds to intent," she whispered. "We have to focus. We have to want it to protect us, or it will do nothing." The Vorath entered the system. Its shadow swallowed Mercury, then Venus, then the edges of Earth's orbit. Humanity watched in horror as the machine moved like liquid metal, devouring moons and asteroids, leaving nothing behind. "Brace for impact," someone shouted. The first wave of destruction hit. Satellites disintegrated instantly. Communications went dark. But Rao raised the artifact. She closed her eyes and thought of Earth, of oceans, mountains, children laughing, people surviving together. A pulse of white light exploded from the artifact, stretching across space like a ribbon of pure energy. The Vorath paused. It sensed something alien, something alive. Dr. Rao's hands shook. She felt a voice in her mind, not hers, not human, but connected. "We fight together, we endure." The Vorath recoiled. It had never faced resistance like this. It had never felt intent stronger than hunger. On the ground, people looked up as the sky shone white. Energy waves ripped across orbit, dismantling the Vorath's outer armor. The machine howled in a way that shattered satellites, but it could not overcome the human will amplified by the artifact. General Hayes clenched his fists. "It's working. Keep it steady. Don't let go." The artifact glowed brighter, white turning into gold. It wrapped the Vorath in energy tendrils, bending space, twisting gravity. The creature writhed, screaming, but it could not break free. Then, with a final pulse, the Vorath collapsed. Its mass turned to harmless particles that burned out in the void. Silence returned to the solar system. Earth survived again. Humanity had faced annihilation, stared into the maw of a star-devouring weapon, and lived. But the artifact pulsed with a strange warmth, as if warning them. Dr. Rao looked up at Hayes. "It's not over. The Emperor will send more. He will send everything." Hayes nodded. "Then we make sure he regrets underestimating us." And somewhere in the stars, the Emperor watched the Vorath fall. His expression was calm. "Interesting," he said again. They can destroy gods, but can they survive gods themselves? Earth was still recovering from the attack of the Vorith, but the war was far from over. Humanity had survived against impossible odds, but every mind knew the Emperor would not stop. The Zorthian Empire had resources that stretched across the galaxy. They had armies, weapons, and machines older than Earth itself. In the global defense network, General Hayes gathered the leaders of every nation. Scientists, soldiers, pilots, they all crowded into the large room, their faces tense. "We cannot defend forever," Hayes said. "We've held our ground. We've survived against impossible odds. But survival alone will not end this war. We must strike first." Dr. Aisha Rao held the artifact close. Its soft glow pulsed like a heartbeat. "I can enhance our weapons with Ian energy," she said. "But even then, we cannot match the full strength of the Empire. We will need allies, intelligence from those who know the Empire better than we do." The room fell silent. A young intelligence officer spoke up. "There are rumors of a faction inside the Empire itself, dissidents who oppose the Emperor's methods. They have spies, saboteurs, and even their own fleets. If we can contact them, we might gain a foothold." Hayes nodded. "Then that is our first step. Prepare a small fleet. Send envoys to make contact. But secrecy is key. If the Emperor finds out, he will annihilate them and us." On the outskirts of Earth orbit, the remnants of the Unity's fleet were being rebuilt. Ships flew like shadows across repair docks. Engineers worked in shifts, recalibrating engines, weapons, and defenses. Captain Elena Cross's name had become a legend, but a new commander, Captain Eric Lawson, now led the fleet. He was young, brave, and willing to do what was necessary. Standing on the bridge of his flagship, HSS Vanguard, he watched Earth shrink below him. "Prepare the fleet," he ordered. "We leave for the Empire in 2 days." Meanwhile, in secret tunnels on Mars, Dr. Rao and her team worked on a new weapon, not just a ship or missile, but a vessel powered entirely by the artifact. It would be a human-made weapon that could carry Ian energy directly to the heart of the Empire. "This is risky," Rao said. "We don't know how much the artifact can handle. It might destroy the ship, or worse, explode in orbit. But if it works, it might be the only way to strike the Emperor directly." Lieutenant Marcus Chin, who had survived the Vorith attack, nodded firmly. "We don't have a choice. We fight, or we die. I'd rather die trying than kneel." The night before departure, humanity watched the stars. People on Earth, on the Moon, and on Mars gazed upward, knowing that soon their best fighters would be at the edge of the galaxy, facing an enemy far stronger than themselves. Then the fleet departed. Hyperdrive engines flared as ships vanished into the void, traveling faster than light. Inside the flagship, Captain Lawson looked at the stars ahead. "Keep your eyes open," he said. "The Emperor's forces could be anywhere. And there's one more danger: betrayal." The envoy to the dissident faction had been on board the Vanguard in secret. A shadowy figure named Clara, a former Zorthian officer, had promised loyalty to humanity. She claimed to oppose the Emperor, but even her voice carried a sharp edge of doubt. Hours into hyperspace, Clara finally spoke. "Your humans think this is a simple war. It is not. The Emperor does not fight like you. He sees everything. He controls everything. One mistake, and you will all die." Lawson's jaw tightened. "Then we do not make mistakes." Clara smiled faintly. "We will see. Just remember, the dissidents I represent have their own plans. They may not match yours exactly." The warning hung over the fleet like a shadow. When they emerged from hyperspace, the fleet found a system lit by fires. Entire planets had been ravaged. A warning beacon floated in space. This is what happens when you oppose the Empire. The human fleet pressed on. Captain Lawson gritted his teeth. "We've seen worse. Stay focused. We are the storm the Emperor never expected." On the lead ship, Dr. Rao activated the artifact. The golden glow stretched through the ship, filling every room with light. Pilots and crew felt an invisible force pushing them forward, courage, hope, and determination amplified by the artifact's power. Suddenly, sensors picked up movement. Massive fleets, black and red, approached from multiple angles. The dissident ships appeared as well, attempting to block and mislead the Emperor's forces. Chaos erupted in the void. The first clash was brutal. Lasers tore through space. Human ships dodged and weaved through waves of alien fire. The artifact pulsed, sending shockwaves that disrupted enemy weapons. But then Clara's true intentions became clear. A signal redirected part of the human fleet away from the Emperor's main forces, leaving them exposed. "What are you doing?" Lawson shouted. Clara's voice was calm. "I promised loyalty, not obedience. Some battles must be won by understanding the Empire, not by charging blindly." Lawson clenched his fists. Humanity was surrounded by enemies, some open, some hidden. Every second counted. Dr. Rao whispered, "The artifact, it's responding. It's alive, guiding us. Trust it." Lawson nodded. "Then we follow. Humanity does not give up. We strike together." In that instant, the human fleet surged forward, hearts and minds united. The war was no longer just survival. It was a declaration: Earth would never kneel. And far across the stars, the Emperor observed every move. A slow smile spread across his face. "Interesting," he said. "They are clever. But clever is not enough. Let the real game begin." The human fleet emerged from hyperspace near the edge of Zorthian space. Stars stretched like silver threads, but there was no beauty here, only the shadow of war. Entire star systems had been stripped of life, their planets hollowed out by the Emperor's hunger for power. Captain Lawson stood on the bridge of the HSS Vanguard, staring at the dark expanse. "This is it," he said. "The heart of the Empire." Dr. Aisha Rao activated the artifact. Its golden glow spread through the ship, filling every corridor, every control room, with warmth and energy. "It's responding," she said. "It knows we are here to strike, not just defend." The dissident ships appeared alongside the human fleet. Their forms were sharp and alien, black with red highlights, but their purpose seemed aligned, at least for now. Clara moved among her people, issuing silent commands. But as the fleet approached the first Zorthian stronghold, alarm sirens screamed across every ship. Thousands of alien warships emerged from hidden star systems, forming a wall of black metal that blotted out the stars. Lawson's voice rang out, calm but firm. "Battle stations. All weapons ready. Remember, we fight for Earth. We fight for every human alive. And we fight together." The first shots fired. Energy beams tore through the void, creating streaks of blue and red across space. Human shields held for a moment, but the Zorthian weapons were relentless. Ships were torn apart, explosions scattering debris across the darkness. Then, the artifact pulsed. A shockwave erupted, knocking back alien fire, twisting space for a brief second. Pilots felt a strange power guiding them, dodging, striking, surviving. Humanity had a secret weapon the Empire could not understand, their unity, amplified by the artifact. Captain Lawson ordered a daring move. "Prepare the Phoenix strike." The plan was simple but dangerous. Human ships would converge on the main Zorthian command ship, carrying the artifact directly into the enemy heart. If they succeeded, they could cripple the Emperor's fleet before reinforcements arrived. If they failed, it would be suicide. Dr. Rao's eyes shone. "The artifact is ready. We have one chance to synchronize with every ship." Lieutenant Marcus Chin gripped his controls. "I've never been more scared, or more ready." The fleet surged forward, weaving through fire and debris. The Zorthians tried to intercept them, but the artifact's energy distorted their weapons, creating openings where none should exist. Human fighters darted through space like swarms of lightning, following the pulse of the artifact like a living guide. Then the betrayal happened. Clara's fleet suddenly changed course, cutting off part of the human fleet. Her ships fired at the unsuspecting humans, scattering them and creating chaos. "Traitor!" Chin shouted over the comms. Clara's voice was calm. "I did what was necessary. The Emperor's power is greater than you know. Only by forcing him to reveal himself can we survive." Lawson ground his teeth. "We'll survive anyway." Even in chaos, humanity's resolve held strong. Captain Lawson led the remaining ships, weaving through enemy fire. The artifact pulsed brighter than ever, as if sensing the courage of its human hosts. Finally, they reached the Zorthian command ship, a black fortress larger than any moon. The artifact emitted a concentrated beam of energy, piercing the ship's hull. It ripped through layers of metal, energy fields, and alien defenses. Inside, alarms screamed. The Zorthian commanders were shocked. No weapon had ever breached their strongest fortress. Yet humans were not stopping. They surged forward, every ship carrying hope, unity, and fury. Then came the unexpected. The Emperor himself appeared in a holographic projection, massive and terrifying. "Fools," he boomed. "Do you think this small planet can defy the Empire? You are ants playing with gods." Dr. Rao whispered. "The artifact, it's reacting to him." The artifact glowed gold and white, sending tendrils of energy outward. It seemed to reach into the Emperor's projection, not physically, but somehow touching him, challenging him. The Emperor laughed, a sound like 1,000 grinding stars. "Interesting. You reach for me. But do you understand what you are touching?" Suddenly, the command ship trembled. Its own systems began to fail. The artifact's energy twisted through its hull, overwhelming alien defenses. Human ships poured in fire, guided by the artifact's pulse, striking with precision no human mind could calculate alone. In minutes, the command ship erupted in brilliant light. Debris scattered, and the remaining Zorthian fleet faltered, confused and leaderless. Humanity had struck at the heart of the Empire, and won the first round. But victory came at a cost. Many ships were lost. Many brave souls never returned. The human fleet was battered, and the artifact had drained more energy than expected. Captain Lawson stared at the debris field, his hands shaking. We did it," he whispered. Dr. Rao looked at him, her expression serious. "Yes, but the Emperor will retaliate. He will not forgive this. He will send his strongest forces, and he will bring horrors we cannot yet imagine." And far away, the Emperor watched the destruction of his command ship. His eyes glowed with fury. "Interesting," he said, a dangerous smile spreading across his face. "The humans can strike the heart, but can they survive the wrath of a god?" The destruction of the Zorthian command ship sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For a moment, humanity's hearts soared. They had struck a direct blow at the Empire. But that moment was short-lived. The Emperor did not panic. He had centuries of planning, armies beyond imagination, and a weapon that could end entire solar systems. In his throne room, he summoned the Council of War. His massive claw tapped on the holomap of Earth. "They have courage," he said, voice low and deadly. "But courage is nothing against inevitability. Prepare the ultimate weapon, the Star Reaper. Let them see what true power is." The Star Reaper was unlike anything humans had ever imagined. A massive living starship, partially mechanical, partially biological, its core was a miniature sun. It radiated heat and energy that could vaporize planets. It moved with intelligence, hunting targets, learning every tactic the humans had used. Back on Earth, the human fleet limped toward home after their daring strike. Captain Lawson watched the debris field of the destroyed Zorthian command ship. "We won the battle," he said quietly. "But the war isn't over." Dr. Rao felt a tremor in the artifact she carried. It pulsed violently. "Something is coming," she said. "Something big. I can feel it. The artifact, it's warning us." General Hayes called an emergency meeting. Leaders, scientists, and military officers crowded the room. The Emperor is not blind, he said. He will respond with his strongest weapon. We need a plan that reaches beyond defense. We need offense. And we need it now. Dr. Rao stepped forward. The artifact can do more than defend. It can interact with ships, amplify energy, and even manipulate gravitational fields. But I need volunteers to risk their lives to carry it into the heart of the enemy. Only by confronting the Star Reaper directly can we hope to stop it. Lieutenant Marcus Chen's hand shot up. I'll do it. I don't care what it takes. We fight for Earth. Captain Lawson looked at him and nodded. We all fight for Earth. But this is a mission that will decide the fate of every human alive. Meanwhile, in deep space, the Star Reaper approached the solar system. Its sheer size caused comets to shift and moons to crack under gravitational strain. Sensors went dark as its energy disrupted communications. Humanity had never seen anything like it. On the HSS Vanguard, the artifact pulsed brighter than ever. Dr. Rao and her team synchronized with the fleet, preparing for the final strike. Every human heart on board felt the same. Fear, yes, but also an unbreakable will to survive. Captain Lawson gave the order. Prepare the fleet. Activate the artifact. Aim for the core. Humanity will not kneel. The artifact glowed gold, extending energy tendrils outward. It wrapped around every human ship like a shield and a guiding force, amplifying their precision, speed, and courage. Pilots felt an invisible hand guiding them, dodging impossible attacks, striking where they needed to. The first wave of attack began. Lasers, missiles, and energy beams collided with the Star Reaper. Its shields absorbed the hits, but the artifact countered, creating tiny rifts in its armor. Each strike taught the humans something new. Patterns, weaknesses, reactions. Clara appeared unexpectedly in the battle, commanding her dissident fleet. For the first time, she openly aided the humans. The Emperor underestimates them, she said to Lawson. We can fight together, but only if you follow my lead. Lawson gritted his teeth. We fight together. Humanity stands as one. The combined fleet struck in unison. The artifact channeled all its energy into a massive pulse, hitting the Star Reaper's core. The living starship shrieked, its sun-like heart cracking under the strain. For a moment, victory seemed possible. But the Emperor had one final trick. A wave of energy erupted from the Star Reaper, creating a black void that began to pull human ships into itself. Pilots screamed as they fought to escape. It was a trap designed to destroy not just ships, but hope. Dr. Rao's hands glowed as she pushed the artifact beyond limits. Hold on, she shouted. We can control this. The artifact reacted to human willpower, bending space and energy to push ships out of the void. Every human aboard felt strength, courage, and unity flowing through them. They struck again, targeting the core, and this time, it began to crack. The Emperor appeared in a projection, his voice calm and terrifying. Interesting, he said, echoing words he had spoken before. They reach for the impossible, but do they understand what awaits them? A massive explosion ripped through the Star Reaper. Light and energy filled space. Human ships rocked from the force, but the fleet held together. The living starship began to crumble, its energy dispersing into the void. For the first time, the Emperor's ultimate weapon was defeated, not by technology alone, but by human courage, unity, and the artifact's mysterious power. On the Vanguard, Captain Lawson exhaled deeply. We did it, he whispered. We stopped it, for now. But Dr. Rao's eyes remained on the artifact. It pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. This is only the beginning, she said. It warns us. Something even greater may come. And far across the galaxy, the Emperor's throne room was silent. He did not shout, he did not panic. Instead, he smiled, a slow and deadly grin. Interesting, he said once more. They have survived gods. But can they survive me? The galaxy held its breath. Humanity had survived impossible odds, destroyed fleets, and even defeated the Emperor's ultimate weapon, the Star Reaper. But the Emperor himself remained, a godlike presence whose reach stretched across stars. On Earth, people waited, watched, and feared. Children stared at the night sky, wondering if the end was coming. Cities rebuilt, armies reorganized, and every human heart beat with the knowledge that the final battle was coming. In orbit above Earth, the remaining fleet prepared for the ultimate confrontation. Captain Lawson stood on the bridge of the HSS Vanguard, looking at the vastness of space. "This is it," he said quietly. "The Emperor himself. We face him, and we fight for every human alive." Dr. Rao held the artifact close. Its pulse had grown stronger, reacting to the tension, fear, and courage of humanity. "The artifact," she said, "it is alive. It connects to every human willing to fight. If we work together, we can challenge even the Emperor." General Hayes nodded. "Then we unite every fleet, every ship, every pilot. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity fights." The fleet entered hyperspace, traveling directly to the Zorthian homeworld, the seat of the Emperor's power. Clara and her dissident faction moved alongside them, though their loyalty remained uncertain. As they emerged from hyperspace, the sight was terrifying. The Emperor's throne world glowed red, encircled by massive fleets, weapon platforms, and strange energy storms that tore through space itself. The full power of the Empire was ready. Captain Lawson turned to his crew. "This is the moment history will remember. Fight together. Strike as one. Humanity will not fall." Dr. Rao activated the artifact. Light burst forth, golden and white, extending energy tendrils through every human ship. It connected their minds, their intentions, their courage. Every pilot felt clarity, speed, and precision beyond normal limits. The artifact had become a bridge between humanity and its destiny. The battle began. Zorthian ships swarmed like black locusts. Energy beams tore through the void. Human ships dodged, countered, and struck with a unity no enemy could predict. Clara's fleet moved to block and distract, giving humanity openings. But then the Emperor revealed his true power. A massive figure appeared above the throne world, his body partially mechanical, partially organic, radiating energy like a miniature star. Every human sensor struggled to read him. The Emperor moved, not through ships, but through space itself, warping reality, bending gravity, and manipulating energy. "Interesting," he said, echoing his words through the minds of all humans. "You survive gods. Yet you will not survive me." The artifact reacted instantly. It pulsed violently, glowing brighter than ever. Dr. Rao felt it in her bones. It was alive, and it understood the Emperor as a threat. It responded not just with energy, but with intent, amplifying humanity's will and courage. Captain Lawson led the strike. Ships surged forward, energy weapons firing in perfect synchronization. The artifact's pulse carved through the Emperor's defenses. Reality warped as human courage met godlike power head-on. The Emperor laughed, a sound like grinding stars. He struck with a wave of energy, sending ships spinning, tearing holes through space. Yet the artifact held them together, bending the Emperor's attacks, redirecting energy, and amplifying human firepower. Dr. Rao realized something vital. "It's not just a weapon," she shouted. "It's a mirror. It reflects their power back at them." The Emperor roared. The artifact wrapped around him, human courage and intent flowing like rivers into the enemy god. Every attack he launched was reflected, amplified, and returned with greater force. Captain Lawson shouted orders. "All ships, focus fire on the throne world. Use the artifact's pulse." A blinding light erupted. The Emperor's form wavered as the artifact's energy engulfed him. The throne world shook, lightning-like energy tearing through the red skies. Ships rocked from the blast, but humanity held firm. Then, with one final pulse, the artifact struck the Emperor directly. Light and energy tore through him, unraveling his godlike form. His scream echoed across space, bending reality for a final moment before silence fell. The Emperor was gone. The Zorthian fleets faltered. Without their leader, their coordination collapsed. Human ships pressed forward, destroying the remaining enemy vessels and securing the throne world. On the HSS Vanguard, Captain Lawson slumped in his chair, exhausted but alive. Dr. Rao smiled softly. "It's over," she whispered. "Humanity stood together, and we prevailed." On Earth, people looked to the stars and saw new lights, signals of victory, of survival, of hope. Humanity had faced gods, fleets, and impossible odds, and had not only survived, but thrived. The artifact pulsed one last time, golden and warm. Dr. Rao understood its final message. It was not just a weapon. It was a guide, a guardian, and a testament to what humanity could achieve when united. General Hayes spoke to the fleet. "Remember this day. Remember courage. Remember unity. Humanity has not only survived the Empire. We have shown that no force in the universe can break our spirit." Clara approached Captain Lawson. Her eyes, once filled with doubt, now held respect. "Perhaps I underestimated you," she said. "Perhaps humanity truly is unstoppable." Captain Lawson nodded. "We do not fight to conquer. We fight to protect, to survive and to thrive. That is our strength." And somewhere across the stars, in silent remnants of the Empire, whispers spread among the remaining Zorthians. "The humans, they are not like us. They are something else, something we cannot control." Humanity had won. Earth remained free. The Martian artifact returned to the care of humanity, a reminder of courage, unity, and the impossible made real. For the first time in history, humans had stood against gods and lived, stronger, wiser, and united.